Mr. President, Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm Riz Khan, and it's my honor to be back as your host and MC for the 16th Eurasian Media Forum here in the beautiful city of Almaty. Now, since attending the very first Eurasian Media Forum all those years ago and returning every year since, year after year, I've come to really love this country, and now I come back here a few times a year on vacation and come and take breaks here. I brought my young daughter, who's just turned 13, skiing to Chimbolak this New Year's trip. It's just a 30-40 minute drive outside the city. It's really quite easy, and I always encourage people to come to Kazakhstan for tourism. And last time I actually landed in Kazakhstan, I landed in the capital, Astana, and by the time I left, the name had changed. So it was Nur Sultan when I left. So people were confused when they said, wait a minute, you went into one city and came out the other. I said, no, I just left the same city. But there's been so many changes to this country since I first came. And there is still so much of the country I want to explore, so many wonderful places. It's such a large and beautiful place. So I heard this story about an American man who had come to Kazakhstan for the first time. And he fell in love with a beautiful Kazakh woman. But I don't think he realized how strong and educated they can be. They decided they would have a honeymoon in the Cherin Canyon. It's like the Grand Canyon here in Kazakhstan. And they went on a horseback riding trip down the canyon. So as they went down, after a little while, the wife's horse stumbled a bit. And the husband looked, she was nearly tipped off the horse. She leaned forward and said to the horse, "That's once." The husband's like, oh goodness, I haven't seen this side of her. They carried on a little longer. The horse stumbled again. She leaned forward and said, "That's twice." They carried on, everything was fine, and half an hour later, the horse stumbled a third time. This time, his Kazakh wife did nothing but get off the horse, pull a small pistol out of her bag, and shoot the horse. And the American husband said, "Are you crazy? You just shot the horse. Are you mad?" She turned around and said, "That's once." Don't mess with the Kazakh women. Now, I should say, before I get in trouble with angry and beautiful Kazakh women, it's wonderful to be here for the 16th Eurasian Media Forum, and our title this year is The World Today, Transforming Reality. For many, it does seem that the reality has been turned on its head in the world in many ways, from Trump's tweets to Brexit and the UK. There's been all kinds of stuff that's been going on where reality has been transformed, perhaps. The Eurasian Media Forum continues its great tradition of stirring debate and conversation and giving you, our participants, a chance to ask questions of some of the world's leading figures. And please make sure you do take part with your questions and comments as well. I'm going to start with a little housekeeping first. Those of you who have forgotten, perhaps you could switch your mobile phones to silent. When the sessions are running, please do be considerate for the other members of the audience so that you can actually not disturb them as you're getting in and out. And do wear your forum ID badges all the time. That's very important for security, as you know. Also, an important note, respectfully to all the session moderators, please do keep to time. We always try to make sure the agenda runs to a tight time schedule, and it can show a lot more respect if you make sure, please, you finish on time. The organizers will tell you if you have a little extra time. Please don't make me come up and say, "That was once." An event like this takes a lot of hard work, so please let's begin with a round of applause for those who have really helped us get this forum here. Of course, the chair of the Eurasian Media Forum Committee, Dr. Dariga Nazarbayeva. We're always honored to have you here, ma'am. The half, please. The organizing committee, the hard-working staff, and all the dedicated volunteers. Please, a big round of applause for everyone who makes this happen. So I'm going to wrap up here, and let's get the event going. I'm very honored first to invite up here to welcome us officially on behalf of the President of the Republic of Kazakhstan. A warm welcome to Kazakhstan's Minister of Information and Social Development, Bauyrzhan Baibek.
Уважаемая Дарига Нурсултановна, господин президент,
Bauyrzhan
Даргалевич, дорогие гости.
Mr. President, Dragan Nazarevich, on behalf of the Ministry of Information and Social Development, let me express the words of gratitude to the organizers for the very high level of organization of the Eurasian Media Forum. Every year we can see that this is a high-level event. It's one of the key events in the Kazakhstan media community. I would like to wish to all of the participants interesting, substantive, and informative discussions and debates. And now I will read out the welcoming remarks on behalf of Kassym-Zhomart Tokayev, the President of the Republic of Kazakhstan, distinguished participants of the forum. From the very heart, I would like to welcome you here for the Asian Media Forum, for the Eurasian Media Forum. More than a quarter of years ago, we've seen the emergence of this forum. The forum was created at the age, in the age of reflection about all the events that came after the September events in New York. Every year, the most topical and critical problems of international and regional agenda are discussed. The forum that used to bring together not more than 200 participants at the very start has turned into a very large-scale event of the social life of the whole region. 7,000 representatives from a media community, including 700 experts from more than 60 countries of the world take part in this forum. This is the success story of this forum. As you know, Kazakhstan has come to a very important stage of its development. On the 9th of June, the premature elections, the early elections for the president will be held. And this event has attracted a lot of attention on the part of the international community. As the acting president of the Republic of Kazakhstan, I'm committed to the fair election, democratic election. Therefore, I welcome the representation of all the representatives of the international community and mass media. One of the major topics is the new digital reality. The international community is looking and very concerned about the unauthorized access to the databases and leakages of information. And certainly digital technologies are very important for the elections and digital processes. The social institutions are worried about destructive influence of internet and social networks on the growing generations. People do need some authority when it comes to new threats and dangers. All those issues are supposed to be well studied in the international community in order to be able to find good, exhaustive answers and solutions. I wish productive work and achievement of all your goals. Kassym-Zhomart Tokayev. Thank you.
Mr. Minister, thank you very much, sir. At this stage now, I have the honor to invite up to stage a man who has been a great friend of the Eurasian Media Forum since the very start. I'm also proud to call him friend, and now President of Armenia. Please give a warm welcome to President Armen Sarkissian.
Dear Dargan
Nursultanovna, dear friends, I would like to extend my congratulations to all of you and to myself as well on this symbolic event, the 16th Eurasian Media Forum. Indeed, in 2002, I believe the first forum was held. I believe that we missed one of them once, but that was started in 2002 when I was happy to actually make my small contribution into creation of this forum. I'm very proud of that. Darigana Sultanovna, my congratulations to you and to all of your colleagues with place on this wonderful institution. I could say that this is an institution, and it's very influential, not only when it comes to the journalism community, but it is very influential on the Eurasian space in the as well. When I'm thinking about the Eurasian Media Forum, what comes to my mind are 2 or 3 concepts or ideas. The first one is Eurasia. What is Eurasia? It's not only a geographical concept. It's also about the great history of civilizations that were born a couple of thousands of years ago. Some of them didn't come to this time. Some of them have turned into the great civilizations of the modern time. Eurasia is about the Silk Road as well. Eurasia is about the philosophy of Gumilev. Eurasia is about the famous address by President Nazarbayev, if I'm not mistaken, in 1994. Eurasia is about the support of this Eurasian idea on the part of many political leaders. Eurasia is about the political leaders who spoke about it without calling it Eurasia, starting with Xi Jinping and Brzezinski, and the modern leaders of the big powers, China, Russia, India, etc. So Eurasia is much more than just one word. It's the present of the economy, business, and politics, and geopolitics, and military politics. I would say it's the center, it's the crossroads of many, many developmental trends and events unfolding in the world. When we're talking about Eurasia, we certainly think about Kazakhstan. We cannot help thinking about Kazakhstan because politically, economically, and geographically, Kazakhstan is located in the very heart of it. And it's not in vain that the economic cooperation ideas emerged here, and later were transformed into real cooperation in the post-Soviet space and time. That's the Eurasian Economic Cooperation Organization, which has turned into a reality. And I would like to think that this reality will become another bridge in order to serve the major purpose. Because when we're thinking and saying Eurasia, we're thinking about the community of nations and civilizations. I would like to see that day when the Eurasian community and the European Union could start negotiations about cooperation and collaboration with each other. There is another word that we see here, media. When we started talking years ago about the media forum, when the media forum 20 years ago was presented as a platform for the journalists, a platform for those people who watch the news and who are looking at what's happening and creating news, but look at the changes that we've seen within those 20 years. When we say media, we are not thinking about journalists only now. It's the virtual life that we are living now. Every single one of us spends a couple of hours every day. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, but we spend a lot of time in a different dimension, in the virtual space, in the virtual media, and it's much broader now than just news, journalism, or transmitting information. It's a part of our lives. It's a small tool of the Industrial Revolution. It includes information about life, economic relations, our photographs, our family, our credit card, our financial relations with the banks or others. I would say this is our leisure time, and everything merges together, all those types of leisure. I would say most of us are probably interested in the sports and entertainment. What's interesting is that today, this digital leisure time, in other words, people watching football and electronically, we have more people watching it like that rather than watching it in any other way. Because this football is interactive. Media is not just a virtual space or some sort of a virtual second life, but it's also interactive. And in that sense, it's not only about integrating different types of our life, but it's about changing ourselves completely. it changes multiple tools and ways of going about different things, going about science, going about education, going about healthcare, going about economy and politics as well. The role of media, of this virtual space, of this virtual world is huge. And the policies are born that way. The policies are implemented that way. And when we're talking about media, this long story from me about the media that we started out with 20 years ago, it's not the same media. Those media are different. It's the second virtual world where we're living in, and it influences more and more the real physical world that we're living in. And I would say they're merging together. They're turning into one. And our common human values, including our attitude to this planet, including our attitude to democracy, will be changing as well, because this small gadget gives us a chance to be able to make a referendum every single day, to politicians get feedback every single day. So we need to be ready to see the world and to face the world that will be there in 20 years. I would like to be there in attendance of the forum in 20 years. Well, at least if it's the 26th or 36th forum, I would like this forum to stay and to be there for many, many years to come. And certainly the third word that we see in the name is forum. In our understanding, forum equals Darigha Nursultanovna Nazarbayeva and the support that she received from the government of Kazakhstan, first of all from the president Nursultan Abishevich, in order to make this forum happen. Indeed, the forum is about the people who started it, and it's a great pleasure for me that after several years of absence to come here again and to see that there are things that stay intact, that do not change in our life. That's the same people that started with you, Darigha Nursultanovna, this forum, and who keep working with you. It's also about your talent to bring together the team that will stay with you for many years to come. I would like to thank you all. Thank you for having created this forum. I would like to wish to all of you to see this forum for many, many years to come in the future, because the objectives that we have, the objectives in front of humanity are huge, and they're changing and evolving every day. And of course, we have only one constant thing in this world, is that this world is not constant. And the role of media, the role of this virtual world is very important in this world. I would like to wish to you good health, longevity, support the Eurasian Media Forum, come here more often, and I think that the forum, the number of participants will double or even triple. My congratulations once again.
Mr. President, thank you very much, sir. And as you can see by Dr. Sarkissian's support from the early days, we would be more than happy to see you at the 36th forum as well, sir. Well, as proven here, this forum has had the highest level of support from around the globe, and it's grown to be something very special. And we're honored today to have with us the chairperson of the Federation Council of Russia. So please warmly welcome Mr. Konstantin Koshychev.
Distinguished Darigha Nursultanovna, distinguished colleagues, dear friends, I believe you would all agree that just the very beginning of the Eurasian Media Forum that we have fallen in love with was very solemn and is very emotional. And although it hadn't been from 2002, but it's also an honor for me to be a participant in this media forum for quite a while, and with great pleasure I acknowledge it is an established event. It's in demand, it's growing, and it's powerful in quantities and in representation, but most importantly, by its quality of the discussion, and I'm looking forward today and tomorrow to this high-quality discussion. And the Eurasian Media Forum is not just bringing together notions, it's generating ideas, it's generating the agenda that is later spreads to wider context. And in that sense, the Eurasian Media Forum most definitely has a global meaning. So sincere congratulations to the initiators, the authors, fathers and mothers who have created, who brought life to this, and who are continuing this wonderful project. And with that, I'm requesting for the possibility to read out the welcoming remarks to the forum participants on behalf of the Chairperson of the Federation Council of the Russian Federation, the Chairperson of Interparliamentary Assembly of CIS, Valentina Ivanovna Matviyenko. On behalf of the Federation Council, I greet the organizers and the participants of the 16th Eurasian Media Forum. It's not by chance that the Eurasian Media Forum annually takes place in the Republic of Kazakhstan, which is the initiator and the spiritual leader of Eurasian integration. In the December 2018 Declaration on Further Development of Integration Processes in the framework of the Eurasian Economic Union, the participants of this association had set an ambitious role of forming Eurasian Economic Union as one of the most significant centers in the development of the contemporary world, which is open for equal and mutually beneficial cooperation with external partners and development of new formats of interaction. I am deeply convinced that the Eurasian Media Forum is one of the effective instruments in the implementation of that mission. The Eurasian Media Forum traditionally brings together representatives of major media, reputable international experts in politics, science, culture, and other areas. In the center of attention of the forum participants are the most acute problems of this world. In 2019, you will consider the search of new models of the development of the world, crisis of consumption, the digital reality, mass media, and the global crisis of trust. I'm convinced that the weighty and reputable opinion of the participants of the 16th Eurasian Media Forum would be heard far outside of the area of the Eurasian region. You're also implementing yet another important mission by bringing in a significant contribution in maintaining the true freedom of speech in globalization conditions, because it's not just independence from governments, but also from the major media corporations and the outlook that they form on the events in the world. Today, as never before, alternatives are important to information forum, because the diversity of opinions, of pluralism, guarantees the basic human right of access to information. Wish you happiness, fruitful cooperation, and discussion, happiness and well-being. Valentina Ivanovna Matviyenko. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for those welcoming words. Now, how can we, of course, not open this forum without a representative of this beautiful city that hosts us so well each year since it's come back to Almaty. And we're very honored to have with us the mayor of this wonderful city, Mayor of Almaty city. Please give a very warm welcome to Mr. Bauyrzhan Baibek.
Distinguished Darigha Nursultanqızı, distinguished President Sarkissian, dear friends. The city laying in the outskirts of the Alatau Mountains, which is over 1,000 years old, welcomes you. Over 800 years ago, Almaty was an established city with its own currency that was known by its hospitality, known as the historical place of birth of apples, having the greatest history and wonderful architecture. Today, Almaty is developing as a center for conducting major international events. It is a unique place of interaction of multitude of cultures, the kind of a golden bridge connecting West and East. The Eurasian Media Forum, which had started here in Almaty 17 years ago, has become a reputable place for interaction and discussion of journalists, professionals from all over the world, where many public figures and politicians come together discussing here most relevant problems of the contemporary world. Here, along with professional issues of the media, we discuss fundamental thoughts that have global human meaningness, most important issues that are relevant for the public. For mass media, it's not just the world represented by the journalists. It's a powerful information institution that defines the life of contemporary society and the new culture of discussion. The master classes that took place on the first day were very relevant and interesting, where there were discussions of the contemporary world, where we have now more than 600 representatives of more than 50 countries of the world. For us is a great honor. Here, on behalf of the guests, I welcome among the guests of the forum the President of Armenia, Sarkissian, also our constant friend and active participant of the forum, the host of the Eurasian Media Forum, head of RizKhan Productions, also author and producer of CGT and Matviyenko, and many famous journalists and Stephen Cole. And using this opportunity, I would like to thank the organizers of the forum and its initiator and the leader, the Speaker of the Senate of the Republic of Kazakhstan, you, Dariga Nursultan. I would like to thank you for this. This year, the forum is also special that it's considering global problems. In today's world, we see transformation of many things. In media, the technology, we see digitalization, we see development of artificial intellect, urbanization is on the rise, and there are trends of growing distrust, and these require major changes to the international politics and the development of influence, mutual influence of the countries. Famous social studies expert Manuel Castells had formed this social structure as a network society, network community, and most important connection here is done by media. It's leading to even the change in the very nature of such interaction, and following the logic and evolution of the logic and the very essence, identifying players and the trends, the directions in which we're developing in. It's very important for any country. Therefore, the Eurasian Media Forum, the very topic it has chosen this year is very important, and we are most confident that it will bring to deep and thoughtful discussions. And distinguished guests, Almaty is a place of active citizens and a place of large-scale events with high level. In the city, we have over 4,000 NGOs and more than 1,000 media outlets. The expert community is very high, and in order to consider the opinions of citizens, we're working in the new direction, and the open interaction office of the mayor is up and running, and for 100,000 addresses by the citizens that were received in last year, 70% have received satisfactory solutions or answers to their questions. Starting this year, in accordance with recommendations of OECD, 1% of the budget of the city is decided by the residents, the budget of participation. So majority of the participants of the forum had been to the city before. Some of you may be here for the first time. So let me briefly tell you about the city of 1,000 colors. As the first president of Kazakhstan, national leader Nursultan Abishnayev, said Almaty is the golden cradle of Kazakhstan's statehood. That's the nest from which our independence had taken up. Almaty had seen and was a witness of historical decisions. The Declaration of Independence was signed here, the Constitution of the country was signed, and the state insignia was accepted here, the national currency was introduced, and this is where the fourth nuclear arsenal of the world was given away by the country. Almaty is the spiritual, cultural, sports and financial and economic center of the country. This is where we see international companies. Most of them have their Kazakhstan offices here. 43% of the companies with international capital work here. Over 80% of the commercial banks, and we recently saw the universal hub for specialized UN agencies. The Almaty economy actually sometimes is larger than some of neighboring countries' GDPs, and the per capita expenses are $20,000. Today, 86% of the city's economy are in trade and services. Somewhere around 40% of the economy is SMEs, and the Gini office is 0.29, and that's lower than some of the European countries. The Almaty, being a major city in the region, is hosting the international platform for meetings and negotiations of the international level. In recent years, we see at the highest level the summit of mayors of the WHO, the 28th Winter Universiade, and the Forum of OECD, the Week of Eurasia. Almaty is following the goals of sustainable development of the United Nations and OECD standards. Together with McKinsey, we have prepared the development program for 2020, and here in 2016 had been assessed by SCAD as the highest level. Together with the Canadian-American company Hatch, we developed master plan for the development of the city. Almaty is the second tourism center with a unique nature. It's the second. Every city is visited by every international tourist that come to the country. Here we see the Medeo skating and Shimbulak skiing areas. 4 historical objects added to the UNESCO Global Cultural Heritage List, and guests can be welcomed in more than 2,500 restaurants with 50 cuisines of the world, with 237 hotels and hostels, 20 museums, 19 theaters, 14 exhibitions and galleries, 128 malls offering more than 400 international brands. We started developing ethnoland for tourism in addition to skiing, skating, and we're holding jazz, classical, and ethnic music festivals. For instance, this very Saturday, the Spirit of Tengri traditional ethnic music festival will launch, and so to the participants of the forum who would stay here over the weekend, please be the guests, honorary guests of this International Ethnic Music Festival. Dear friends, this year's Eurasian Media Forum is following the sustainability of Kazakhstan. It's not important just for this country, but also for Central Asian region. And in that sense, in order to ensure further development, historical decision was received about the change of power on 19th of March, and this was an example of sustainable transition of power. And now the president leading the country, Kassym-Zhomart Tokayev, in these years had managed to develop further traditions of a public accord, and it was an important step for the country. So this is a guarantee of powerful statehood. For no matter how the world is developing, but there are eternal values, and these include humanity, justice, solidarity, and striving to knowledge and harmony, which is something that would always lead humanity to self-development. The transformation processes see that these values are becoming ever more important. And for this, in this spread of these ideas in the media is very important. So the Eurasian Media Forum, that had become the platform for discussion of media and experts, is participating in the development of directions for our development and is there to serve the mission of improving humanity.
Feel the warmest hospitality, enjoy wonderful nature and amazing sights of our city. Learn more about national culture and spend your time well during the forum. I wish all participants good luck and excellent mood. Thank you very much.